I've been trying out Claude Design, and I'm sure you've seen a ton of videos on this already, but I'm going to show you what I'm doing with it as a UX UI designer and some really cool things that you can do with it. Now, a very quick rundown, you need a paid plan. Even the basic pro plan will do. What I particularly love about this is that I can make prototypes, but I can also hand off this stuff to Claude Code. So I'll go into that a little bit. And the foundation for this is all using your design system, and that's what makes it so powerful for UX and UI design. You can ask it to generate a design system if you don't have one. And if you do, you only need your brand or style guide to get started, or even just some snapshots or visual inspiration for Claude to set up a design system for you. So over here, I'm going to start with that. And this is the information that you can add. If you already have your GitHub repository set up with your components, you can link that here. And if you have it locally on your computer, you can just upload a folder with a bunch of assets. And what I really love about it is that it plays nice with Figma. So you can export a .fig file if you have a style guide in there, or you already have some components and a brand guide or something like that. You can upload that Fig file. I'm just going to upload some assets and a design system that I have for a project that I was working on. And if you want to save some credits, generate this in something like Google Stitch first, because this can definitely suck up a lot of tokens. And the other tip is to change the model for some of the simple tasks and tweaks so that you're not like totally draining your usage. I also have a bunch of other files, code-related stuff that I wanted to reference. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to generation. So it says it's going to take about 5 minutes, and then it's going to start sauteing our design system. It's got a nice progress list here so that you can see what it's doing, what it's uploading, and all of the files that it's reading. And now it's going to start building those foundational files with CSS tokens. So this is where things get quite fun. It has made a draft design system for me, and I get to review all of the components. Still missing the fonts. I didn't upload all of them, so it's going to render some substitute web fonts. That's fine for now. So it's got my color palette here. I'm going to approve each of these as we go. All right, so this needs work. It's definitely not accessible. So maybe I'll say that needs work. Make sure these colors are accessible. And then I'm going to submit that. And so now it's showing me the foreground and the surface and making sure that's all good. Looks good to me. Font looks good. Spacing, everything, that's pretty nice. It made a typography scale, very good. Word mark, beautiful. Spacing scale, love it. This is our buttons, looks good. And then we have our 2 here that now pass accessibility. And I love this motion. I gave it a description of how I wanted the motion to feel for the animations. And that's something I'm going to show you in a minute, is just how good this is with animations. And now I can continue to design with this. When I come back to the home screen, I can see my other design system. And so now I can make a project out of this. So I'm going to start with wireframes, and I'm going to call this Other Journaling App. And I'm going to select wireframe, and I'm going to hit create. And I'm going to paste in the prompt to make an onboarding flow for a mobile app that lets me digest a bunch of news and art things that I like, and then journal to formulate opinions about that. This is just something that I like to do when I'm trying to understand a topic better or have a conversation with someone about it. So I'm going to make an app for that. And of course, you can add more context like screenshots or a Figma file. But this is what I really love. For every design that I make, Claude Design actually onboards me to make sure that it understands what I'm trying to create and asks me some more important questions. Or it's a private journal fused with a curated feed, and that's the vibe that I'm going for. I want it to be short onboarding. I definitely want to know the topics of interest, and I'd like 3 different directions for these wireframes. I want it to be an editorial magazine-like feel, and maybe also kind of gallery and notebook. And I want them to kind of pick a stance on this topic. And this is important, and I did a video all about this last week on the most expensive screen in your app, and that is your paywall, upgrade, and subscription screen, specifically about when you should ask for it. And so it knows this is really important stuff. I want to give them a full feeling of this. Maybe they can create one journal and create one opinion at the end of this, and that's when we're going to ask for payment. Should onboarding end with them writing their first journal entry. Yes, absolutely. And what tweaks should be useful to compare. And this is specifically what I think makes this right now stand out above Google Stitch and even Replit and some of the other builders like Lovable that generate designs, because it's considering the UX a lot more rather than just generation first and then tweaking in hindsight. And yes, I'm going to go ahead and call this app Ether. And if I have any other constraints, like maybe there's certain APIs that I want to use, or there are specific conditionals or logic flows that I want to take in consideration for my developers, I could type that here. So let's continue. Okay, this is what it's come up with. We have 3 distinct styles and ways to begin this onboarding. There is the editorial flow right here. Then the other style is the gallery style, and then the notebooks. These are all really great. And I kind of love the first one just because it's sort of a mix of this modern with this more handwritten notebook style. And it just kind of prompts you and helps you to write about this and think deeper about these topics. Down here, open up the tweaks. I just want to isolate the editorial version right now and zoom into it and see if there's anything that I want to change. But this is a great simple onboarding here. So there's a few other things here that I can do at the top. I can comment on something. Is this progress indicator clear enough? And I can send that to Claude. So by asking that, it's sending that question to Claude, and it's going to help create some variants if I want to tweak that to something else. And then I can edit a few basic things directly here, spacing, opacity, margins, things like that, or I can draw on this and ask it to change something. So let's say I want to take this design system, apply it to the wireframes, and create high fidelity mobile flow. So I'm going to click into this design system. I can see that it's published, it's set to default, and I'm going to click this button to have it create a new design using this system. It's going to open up another window here in Claude Design, and you'll see the design system is attached. This time I'm going to click high fidelity, and I'm going to name the project Other Mobile App. And I'm going to hit create. And I can start with a sketch if I want to, but I have those wireframes so I can attach that. Or I can go ahead and reference another project, which I'm going to reference the wireframes. And I'm just going to say, create me the final high fidelity mobile app for this news plus art opinion journal. So now it's going to dig into the design system that we created. It's going to use those styles, and it's going to ask me some questions again that I will answer, and then it will go through it. So I'm going to select a bunch of options that sound good here for the UX that I have in mind. And again, I like this because I don't have to think of everything from scratch. I can kind of get prompted, and that really helps get the creative juices flowing in my brain. Ooh, and this is what we have. This is a beautiful looking mobile app. Oh, I really love it. It's quite refined. We have the first issue here, and it's kind of like our own personal digest of news that we've curated. And then we've got our journal here where we can add entries, index of different things, an archive, a library. This is really cool. The next flow I'll probably work on is like entering the journal entries and stuff like that, and more things that were brought up in the onboarding. But that's it. That's a complete app prototype here. And now let's take it a step further. Some of you might be thinking, well, how is this any different than Claude Code? Well, really, it's not all that different. This really is just a visual layer on top of Claude Code. So if you've already connected your Claude to Figma MCP, for example, then you can do this kind of inside of Figma. But then again, you've got to come back into Claude Code to, make it communicate back and forth with your design system. So this is just kind of containing that all in Claude and kind of skipping the Figma step. And so now what I want to do, if I actually want to turn this into something real, is I can export this and hand it off to Claude Code. And there are a few different ways you can export this as well. So let's click on Claude Code, and I'm going to copy this command, but I'm also going to download the zip file as well. And just to note that Claude Design right now does not work on the desktop app, so you have to use that in browser. And then if you are using the desktop app for Claude Code, then you can switch. That's what I'm going to do. I'm over now in Claude Code. I have a project here called Ether, and I am going to paste in that prompt that I just copied from Claude Design. And then I am also going to upload the zip file just in case there are any issues. I have that whole file in here, and I'm going to click upload. And here we have it inside of Claude Code, fully implemented. This is awesome. To go from a bunch of ideas, having the UX a lot more fleshed out, having wireframes created for you, and then final high fidelity designs, and then handing it off to Claude Code. That's a pretty great workflow for UX and UI designers. I am going to keep experimenting with this because I want to also integrate co-work into this to make things like research and other aspects of the product design process automated. And I can't wait to do my next live session with my students inside of my product design course. If you're interested in that, come check it out. Link is in the description. I'm excited to see how it continues to evolve in my workflow. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe and leave a comment and share this video so other UX and UI designers can benefit from it too. Thanks for watching.